Look, having conversations is a hard task, especially as an introvert. These small talk conversations, it's just not natural to you, so you end up having these awkward and weird interactions. So I'm gonna help you out because you need to have the small talk. You need to be able to break the ice with somebody to be able to engage in that deeper conversation. So to help you out, here are 6 mistakes you want to avoid when engaging in small talk. Let's go. Number 1, you got to avoid your past relationship. Talking about this is almost always a lose-lose. If you talk too much about it, it looks like you're still hung up and have feelings for your ex. And if you talk negatively about it, she's going to start questioning if you're the problem. Number 2, you have to be purposeful. See, thoughts are almost always self-fulfilling, meaning that if you're actually passionate about the conversation, it's going to flow naturally. But if you approach your conversation as meaningless and boring because you're not passionate about it, what's going to end up happening is that you're going to end up having a conversation that's meaningless and boring. Number 3, you have to be curious. The biggest mistake with small talk is that you end up being too shallow with your questions. I want you to take a genuine interest in the person that you're talking to. So instead of saying something as simple as how are you, where you're just gonna get a good, say something like how was your weekend? Did you do anything fun? When you approach with genuine interest, you're gonna receive back an interesting conversation. Number 4, do not gossip. It just doesn't look good. Usually the people that gossip end up being the ones that are toxic, that nobody wants around, and nobody wants to have conversations with because they know they're just going to spread it out to everybody else. Number 5, don't talk about politics. This is such a polarizing issue that no matter how reasonable both of you are, if one's from the left and one's from the right, you automatically will hate each other. It's a stupid human defect, but they will judge you depending on your politics. So politics is just too polarizing to bring up unless you know that other person has similar views to you. Then yes, you can bring it up, but for the most part, just avoid it. Number 6 is offensive joke. Yo, you have to understand that the real world is not some game room, chat room that you have with your buddies. Yeah, you make all the homosexual and racist jokes in there, but that's because there's no identity behind it. In the real world, a lot of people will get offended by it, and a lot of people will do something about that, which can end up ruining your personal image and also your future. Offensive jokes to most people are offensive by nature, therefore just keep them to yourself and don't bring them in a conversation. And finally, number 7, forgetting people's names. See, this is a strong thing that you need to do when you're having a conversation. There's this quote that says that one of the sweetest sounds that our ears can hear is our own name. We love to hear our own name. So when you engage with somebody for the first time, they tell you your name, try to make it an effort to repeat their name at least once in that conversation. Not only is this going to solidify their name in your brain, but it's also going to let them know that you care enough and they're going to like you more for it because they like hearing their name. The worst mistake you can do is forgetting what people's names are. And that's basically it for this week's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to drop us a like down below. Also, boys, don't forget to share this video to help your brothers out that might be a little bit awkward in conversation. These 7 mistakes that you want to avoid will help you out. That's it for me today. See you next time.